Hi everybody, how are you doing? Today's video is for educational purposes and it is based on the Ghanaian secondary school course uh, called Religious Studies. It used to be Christian Religious Studies, but now it's called Religious Studies. And today I'm going to be talking about idol worship. Idol worship. And I'm going to make a connection between idol worship and Galamsey, respectfully. In Ghana, a lot of people worship the river god. And a lot of people, even practicing Christians, they have a reverence for the river god. And so easily you would see a believer curse um, somebody by the river gods. It is a very common practice in Ghana. So in Ghana, we call it the African traditional religion, the African traditional religion. And under this religion, there are a number of lesser gods that Ghana people and other Africans worship. So this includes the worship of rivers, the worship of forests, the worship of like creatures within the forest. Now, regarding the worship of forests, you know how the African tradition religion is a religion on its own, right? And because it's a religion on its own, they have their own priests and they have their own prophets as well. So the priests also like to go on retreats, spiritual retreats, where they have supernatural encounters. In Ghana, they call a number of these encounters, especially in the forest, they call them encounters with the dwarf spirits. So a lot of the priests of the traditional of the African traditional religion, they go to the forest and they have supernatural encounters, and then they obtain special wisdom and recipes for a number of the herbal um, medications that we have, and a number of these are even sold like on the market. A lot of these herbal medications um, are available for sale, and they are supposed to heal a number of conditions, right? This practice dates back probably centuries or, yeah, longer, mostly longer. And a number of Africans may be familiar with, the whole concept of the witch doctor. Very, very similar. So traditional herbal medications, right? That date back centuries ago. And this system of medications and things of that nature, procedures, they included even once saw in a documentary, surgical procedures that were conducted by even these witch doctors. So it was like mainstream, like the main medium through which people got their healing, before the introduction of modern medication, yeah, and health practices. So Africans under the African traditional religion worship river gods. They worship gods of the forest, worship creatures in the forests. They worship uh, graven images. Some craft wooden crafts, like and like voodoo dolls and things of that nature. Africans under this religion also worship ancestors. Okay, ancestors. Yeah, they also worship the the goddess of the earth. Yeah, and in worshiping ancestors, primarily, it is a worship of those who have gone ahead of us or the dead. Yeah. Now, because the African traditional religion is a religion, they have their style um, of worship, right? They have their style of worship. They even have their own like temple, and usually it's called a shrine. They have shrine music, like praise and worship style, yeah. No, not kidding. Then they also have a number of ceremonies, a number of rites, rituals, events that help them in the religion to express their thanks, to express their worship to these lesser gods. So I'm going to go over like 9 ways that the African traditional religion is expressed, okay, and to which gods, lesser gods, they express to. So we have the goddess of the earth that the African traditional religion worships. And this goddess is one way that this goddess is worshipped is by pouring of the libation, or another word for it is the drink offering. Then the sun god, and the moon gods that are celebrated, um, at, when there are changes in season, and even, yeah, changes in season, yeah. Then there are the gods of agriculture. The gods of agriculture are worshipped through, during festivals where sacrifices are offered to them. The gods of agriculture, like for instance, we have like yam festivals all over West Africa, and various other crop festivals. Yeah. And then for the worship of the water bodies, they usually do like drink offerings, like pouring of a libation. And I've seen drivers who, when they're driving past a river body, they would stop their vehicle and then pour an offering, drink offering to these water bodies. Yeah. Then the worship of the forest and the creatures in the forest, the reptiles and things like that. They also have the ways, those who practice it also have their ways of expressing worship to these lesser gods. Then the graven images are normally kept in homes and offices, and people show their support for these lesser gods. People also show their support for the African traditional religion by participating in various rites, various rituals at events, uh, especially when it has to do with ancestral worship. You know, we even call it the final funeral rites. So a number of rites during funerals in Africa are meant to, like, to help to celebrate the dead. Yeah. This is also done. They give gifts to the dead. They give money to them, and because their beliefs around, um, you know, these rites and these rituals that they do, they believe that people who pass on are gonna embark on a journey, and they may get thirsty. They may need money to buy water, and things of that nature. So they're given gifts by relatives. And I've seen a number of believers who practice this. So that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of solidarity for the African traditional religion, even amongst Christian circles, at least in Ghana, that I have observed. Other rituals during funeral rites include speaking to the dead and asking them who unalived them. Then there is the gods of fertility that are celebrated during initiation rites, puberty rites, and these rites can be very colorful and very, like, have a lot of music and very festive. Yeah. Then another expression of the African traditional religion is how certain days are observed, are kept uh, like holy, like sacred. Yeah, some days that you don't fish, some days that you don't. Farmers are not supposed to go out to farm, and things of that nature. Then under the African traditional religion, they also have the priests, and there are certain characteristics of the African traditional religion priests. They normally wear their hair in a particular style. I don't know if it's the same in Jamaica, in Haiti, and other Caribbean islands. Yeah, the priests wear particular hairstyles. Then there also the issue of tattoos. Then there is the issue of beads. Yeah. Then there is the issue of specific types of music that are associated with this religion, and the priests, um, yeah, they have a lot of skills in these areas. So almost so the river gods are a big deal under the African traditional religion. So with this issue of Galamsey, I'm just a bit curious as to, these river gods are like held sacred in Ghana. You're not supposed to speak against them. There's so many protocols around these river bodies. So I'm just wondering why they are not attempting to protect themselves from Galamsey. I'm very curious. Um, and this reminds me of the story in Exodus, of Israel